year, one beer, one kid, one gun, one fight that fatal, one night that would make dad run. I often ask, did I play a role in that outcome? And if I did as a kid, I often ask, how come? We're from living in the Bay to the Roxbury slums, where I shot my first jumper and saw my first jump, standing on the corner chewing on rocks like gum. The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Joe Joyce. Big Joe Joyce had a fight against Michael Varlish. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Once again, if I'm butchering the name, I apologize. But Michael Varlish. G, what were your thoughts on Joe Joyce's performance against Michael Varlish? And do you think, judging off that performance, that Daniel Dubois is in trouble?
Nah, Daniel Dubois is like, yo, we eating. Joe Joyce is from the UK, right?
Yes.
Joe Joyce is like, Daniel Dubois is like, we eating fish and chips that day. Because,
he's also from the UK.
This is, it was, man, Joe Joyce is so slow. Footwork is horrible. Like, honestly, because, when we initially talked about this a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm leaning on Joe Joyce because, he got a granite chin. I think he could absorb them punches. But his defense against this guy was so bad that I'm like, if he allows, what's his name, Dubois to actually hit him with them rights, he's going to sleep, man. Like, regardless of how solid his chin is, he took too many shots from a journeyman that I'm just like, I'm not impressed at all, man. And he's so slow. Like, even, like, you're getting caught with shots that you should be able to see and just block. But this dude's like a robot, man. He just fights on slow-mo. I think, man, I was wrong. Even though the fight hasn't happened, I already know. I was wrong. I'm sorry, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, when we do our official predictions for that fight, I'm going with Daniel. You know what I mean? Easy money. It's like, there's no way. If Daniel loses to this dude, Joe Joyce, bruh, Daniel retired, bro. Like, I think Joe Joyce isn't getting any younger. The dude's already in his 30s, and he's set in his ways. Like, he's kind of like, I'm not going to compare him to Wilder, but in a way, he's kind of like Wilder, where it's like, you're not going to expect anything new from him. This is just who he is. You just got to accept him for who he is. And so if Daniel doesn't capitalize off of that, man, then honestly, maybe this heavyweight thing isn't for him, So, yeah, I'm not impressed by Joe Joyce's performance over the weekend.
All right, Complex.
Yeah, I saw some highlights for the fight. I watched it. The dude, I mean, he got him out of there. You know what I mean? So I give him that. And it is a tune-up, so, I give him that as well. Maybe he's been off a little bit. He's a little rusty. But, yes, I agree with G. He's very slow. It's funny. His nickname's the Juggernaut, and it reminded me of the whole old 90s X-Men cartoon. And when the X-Men fought the Juggernaut, he was strong, but he wasn't very fast. You could hit him hard, and he had a good chin, but he wouldn't go down that easy. And I feel like that's literally Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce is like, he's got a good chin. He's up and coming. He's a young heavyweight. He's old, but he's young in the sense that he hasn't.
He's young in the heavyweight division.
He's coming up in the sport. But no, Daniel Dubois to me is just a different animal. I think Daniel Dubois is a feature of the division, and I think he's going to be causing a lot of noise once he gets up there. I think it's just a matter of time. Honestly, I picked Daniel Dubois when it was first announced, and I still pick him. Nothing really changed from watching Joe Joyce. I mean, his performance against the journeyman wasn't impressive, but it wasn't. Even if he knocked the dude out in one round, I still would have picked Daniel Dubois. Joe Joyce. I like his confidence. I'm happy that he took the fight because these are the kind of fights that a lot of guys avoid until it's for a belt or until whatever. But these guys have nothing really to gain. They're both up and coming fighters, so it's not like you're gonna get a belt. It's gonna be a decent payday. But I'm happy they're fighting, and we need more of those kind of fights in boxing. Guys who are young, they don't mind taking a loss because they're gonna come back. You know what I mean? Because one guy's gonna lose, and he doesn't have that undefeated record that he can market himself as anymore. So props to them for taking the fight. But Daniel Dubois is gonna spark him. I think, when it does happen, eventually it'll be entertaining. I think Joe Joyce will put up a good fight, but Joe Joyce is very robotic. He doesn't move very fast. He's kind of stiff, and I think Dubois will eventually crack him. He will take down the juggernaut.
Facts. Like,
like, dude, when I watch Joe Joyce versus Usyk, like, if you just watch the fight from last night and then watch Joe Joyce versus Usyk and just look at the speed drop off, it is just so insane. It's like, how do you lose so much speed so quickly? Then you factor in his age, which he's 34 years old. And so, like Complex pointed out something, if he was 24 years old and he took the fight with Daniel Dubois, I would be impressed. But to me, he needs to take the fight now. If this fight happens a year from now, he's probably only going to be slower. Like, he just seems to be losing a lot of speed. He's even slower than he was in his last fight. And, you know, I'm not trying to, like, clown the guy. I just got to call it like I see it. Man, there's a huge lack of speed. He's powerful, but the speed, he's just, you can't compete with the elite fighters like that. They're not only powerful, but they're fast. Like, you can't mess around, you know, with that type of speed. It's almost Dominique Brazil-like.
No, let's not disrespect Brazil like that. Brazil way faster than homie.
No, but he's not fast.
Oh, yeah, facts. Yeah, facts. Yeah.
My point. Brazil has good power, but he's not fast. And in the fights where he lost, when he stepped up, it's because the guys were faster than him and could beat him to the punch. When he fought Joshua, Joshua beat him to the punch. When he fought Wilder, Wilder beat him to the punch. That's how he lost. Like,
Brazil against Joe Joyce would be an interesting fight. I would watch that. That'd be a good.
I would. I'm like,
the cure to insomnia.
Either they go to sleep or you go to sleep, guaranteed.
Either one of them go to sleep or you go to sleep.
They'll be like, yo, who put this on slow mo?
With my controller, who's playing?
What the hell is going on? You got to watch that fight and fast forward. Like,
oh man,
I don't know. But to be honest, I picked Daniel Dubois because he's younger, and I picked him because of his speed. And I just think speed is a very underrated aspect of boxing. When you look at Mike Tyson, he was a KO kid, but he was very fast. Like, he was extremely fast. Mike Tyson's one of the fastest heavyweights. When you look at even Deontay Wilder, his right hand is very fast. His right hand is fast. You have to have some speed to get guys. Joshua, people say Joshua's fast. Like, he's not.
He's robotic, but at least he's way faster than Joe Joyce.
You said what?
People always complain about AJ being robotic. That may be true, but he's still a fast robot.
And even if you ask people who've been in the ring with Anthony Joshua, they always say he's deceptively fast. Like, his speed, like, he's fast. And you can see he's fast. When you watch Joshua, you can see he's fast.
That last Ruiz fight, you can see.
He may not be as fast as, you know, Fury or Wilder, but he's fast enough. Like, they're not gonna. He can hit them. And I'm not so sure who's fast at all of them. Like, you got to get them in the ring and see. But these guys have good speed. Whereas Joe Joyce just doesn't have it. Daniel Dubois, he needs to get faster, in my opinion. He should work on his speed, but he's still a lot faster than Joyce. I just don't see Joyce.
If he loses to Joyce, I'm be honest, Daniel, man, it was a good run, you know. Like,
if he loses to Joyce, I guarantee you, Joyce is getting a title shot his very next fight. Fury, sign him up. Whoever's the champ, sign him up. The very next fight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, please like, share, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Also check us out on all the podcast platforms. It's the Boxing Bros.
I wanna see what's on your mind. You wanna see what's on my mind. Pimpin' all the time. I wanna know if you wanna be mine.